Can you all hear me back there? Yeah, excellent. First of all, this is an extremely important event, and I think it's really brilliant news that you all came to make your views known. I also would like to take the opportunity of thanking the police for coming along and securing us, and also, of course, the wonderful Community Security Trust officers who are here on duty as well. Thank you. I also am very pleased to see among your number quite a few non-Jews. Not that I'm anti-Semitic, well, no more than I have to be, but I think it's extremely important that that non-Jews stand up and support the state of Israel as well, because I know that Israel does have a huge amount of support among people in this country outside the Jewish community. I am here today under, I think, false pretenses, because I'm not going to speak specifically, or my focus is not on UNSC Resolution 2334. I want to speak more about UNSC Resolution 2335, which is following soon. Now, I don't know if that is the right number for it, but I do know that there is another anti-Israel resolution in the pipeline being planned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing nothing less than an international conspiracy against Israel. It's a dirty, sordid, nasty little conspiracy, and I'm ashamed to say that the United Kingdom is playing a leading role in it. I have fought many times for my country, but it embarrasses me to find out the way that Great Britain is stabbing its ally, its close ally, Israel, in the back, at the behest of a lame duck President of the United States. President Obama, his spokesman, claimed that they decided to abstain from that resolution rather than veto it at the last minute. That is very strange, because, ladies and gentlemen, I knew about that plan, and others knew about that plan, exactly the plan as it unfolded more than 1 year ago. So if I knew about it, I'm damn certain that President Obama knew about it. I knew that there would be a resolution along these lines against the state of Israel, and I knew that the United States would abstain from the resolution. They wouldn't vote against it, they would abstain. It was planned, it was set out, it was predestined over a year ago. This is a conspiracy. Britain orchestrated it at the behest of President Obama. And Britain did not realise when it agreed to do that they were on the wrong side, because the new President of the United States will be deeply unhappy with their actions. I hope they've got the courage. I hope they've got the courage down there in Downing Street, because I wouldn't even presume to suggest they would have the courage in the Foreign Office, but I hope they've got the courage in Downing Street to prevent the next stage of this conspiracy unfolding. Before I tell you what the next stage exactly is going to be, I want to just talk a little bit about this Resolution 2334. It is illegal. It's an illegal resolution which needs to be challenged in the international courts. It directly contravenes Article 80 of the United Nations Constitution, directly, which guarantees the rights of the Jewish people in the former Mandate of Palestine, as declared by the UN's predecessor body, the League of Nations, when they issued the mandate to Great Britain in 1922. It has not changed since then, and the Article 80 remains extant, it remains in force, and UNSCR 2334 contravenes it. Britain should not be dabbling in this sort of thing. Britain should be backing Israel. Britain receives immense support from the State of Israel in intelligence, in military assistance, in diplomatic support, in many, many areas that I could go into but won't now. Britain receives a huge amount of support. I know many British soldiers who owe their lives today to Israeli battlefield medical technology, Israeli drone technology, and Israeli counter-explosive technology, not to mention Israeli intelligence. We have in the past betrayed the Jewish people in Palestine and the State of Israel. We betrayed them when we refused to allow so many of them into Palestine, into the future Jewish state, around about during the Second World War and immediately afterwards. That was a gross and disgraceful betrayal by our country of the State of Israel, and yet we had played such a big role in bringing about the State of Israel when under that man there, King George V, we brought into being the Balfour Declaration, which was the fundamental beginning of the modern-day State of Israel. Yet we at the same time refused to countenance the formation of that state in 1948, and indeed a British general led the Arab Legion in its attack on the new State of Israel in 1948. So now we must behave far more properly in the 21st century. Just over there, in the bit of grass just over there, the other side of the House of Lords, we're going to build a Holocaust memorial under that grass, which is a fantastic project, and it's designed to remind us about the terrors of the Holocaust and why it can't and shouldn't happen again. Yet what we've done in endorsing UNSC Resolution 2334 is to endorse some of the principles of the Holocaust. We've already heard how that UNSC is going to invigorate BDS. It's also going to reinvigorate and encourage anti-Semitism and violence against Jews. But not only that, but that United Nations Security Council resolution bans any further settlement of Jews in that area of Palestine. How can that be? We are supporting people who want to make that part of Palestine Judenrein. They want to cleanse it of Jews. That may be President Abbas overhead. We've heard earlier on about the great President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority, who has said that in a Palestinian state there will not be a single Israeli. By Israeli, he means Jews. And we are supporting this. It's quite incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, the Judea and Samaria, East Jerusalem, these are not occupied territories. They are not occupied territories. They are disputed territories. They're not occupied, as the UN resolution suggests. The settlements are not illegal. It's a simple fact. They are not illegal. And I would personally be happy to argue the point with anyone. I don't care what qualifications they may have in the law. They are not illegal. Those people down there in the Foreign Office, they know they're not illegal. I spoke about 2 years ago to a senior Foreign Office official who told me that they knew, this was obviously in confidence, so please only tell a few close friends, and if Al Jazeera's here, then feel free to broadcast it.
They are.
I was told in confidence that they know these settlements are not illegal, but the reason they say they are is to put pressure on Israel. That is duplicitous, it's dishonest, and it's disgraceful. And they should be shut down for it.
Shame.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to UN Security Council Resolution 2335. President Obama is in the process now of orchestrating a further resolution which will be probably voted upon in the Security Council on the 17th of this month. And it will be preceded by the peace conference, so-called, in Paris on the 15th, And at that peace conference, which will have 50 foreign ministers attending, a decision will be taken, a statement will be made, wording will be formulated, which will essentially lead to recognition of a Palestinian state and the demand for the state of Israel to be defined on the so-called 1967 borders, or in fact the 1949 invasion lines, as they're more accurately known. And that is going to be what the resolution will seek to do. President Obama has persuaded Malaysia to sponsor this resolution, and undoubtedly Britain, the British ambassador in New York, will be working now on the way this is going to come together. That is what's planned. It's going to be UNSCR 2334 plus. So what we've got already is very, very bad, but what they've got planned in the next stage of their conspiracy is much worse. And we need to do something about it, and we can do something about it. Obviously, the desired solution is for it not actually to come up to the vote, for it to be stopped diplomatically on the way there. Britain can play a big role in that. Britain has a veto. The chances of Britain exercising that veto against the will even of the lame duck president are very small. But nevertheless, Britain has a role, and if Britain has a conscience, Britain will stop it happening. I attended a lunch across the river there a few days before that Security Council resolution that Theresa May spoke at, and spoke very glowingly about Israel. And I believe what she said she believed as well. She, I believe, is a great supporter and friend of Israel personally. And now she needs to show that she has the leadership quality to stand up for the state of Israel. In that building, there are 3 statues. One of Winston Churchill, one of Margaret Thatcher, and one of David Lloyd George. 3 of our greatest prime ministers of the 21st century. All 3 were fantastic friends of Israel. All 3 would have stood up against this anti-Israeli conspiracy. And we need to do everything we can, as groups, as leaders, as individuals, to put whatever pressure we possibly can now on the Prime Minister. Don't worry about the Foreign Office. On the Prime Minister to stand up, to be Churchillian, and stand up for the state of Israel, which is a great friend of the United Kingdom and one of the greatest nations in the whole of the world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.